Hi and welcome to another video of Oldtimerfarm. Today I want to present to you the story of the MGB. MG was the biggest selling brand on the roadster market in the second half of the 20th century. Let me walk you through this. To make it easy, we'll start our story after the war. MG was an industrial brand, and building on the success it had with the TC, that was a pre-war car, that the American GIs took with them in their luggage after the Second World War, they made a car for the American market, and it was called the TD. The D was a little bit bigger than the C, and the engine was improved. And then we start the story with new engines, new bodies. New engines, new bodies. So this is the 1250. They made only TDs in 1250. Then they made a whole new body and they used the same engine, 1250. But in the TF, there is a 1500. This one, new engine. Old body, new engine. And the cars become more luxurious. So you have individual seats instead of a bench. You have a lower body. You have more space for your feet. And then there's a big break, a big change, but with an old engine, the 1500 MGA, all new car. And later on, they made the 1600. And it's only with the MGB that they did the both changes at once. It was the 1800 engine and the new body. Let's look at this one. So the MGB came with an 1800 engine with two SU carburetors. First it had 3 bearings, then 5 bearings, and it had a really long career. So it started in 63 and it finished in around 80. The only thing that was missing on that engine was sheer power. It was good, it was reliable. 100 horsepower in the 60s was a lot. It was fun to drive, but it wasn't fast. At least it wasn't atrociously fast, but this one is. So in the last generation of the MGB, the body was modified in such a way that it could accommodate the V8. The V8 that was borrowed from Rover, which was also part of the British Leyland brand, and it was a big engine, 3.5 liters. It came from Buick originally. They had space to put the engine in. There was not so much height, so they were looking for solutions to make the carburetors and the air filter lower. And the consortium brought out one car, the MGB GT Coupe. But obviously, the market didn't like this. They wanted a cabriolet, a fast cabriolet. So the bodies from the second half of the 70s were already prepared to accommodate the V8. But the story is that on the board of British Leyland, a certain Mr. Lyons, who was the owner of Jaguar, was afraid that this car would be too much of a competitor for its cherished E-Type. Remember the E-Type? 6-cylinder, double overhead cam, 3.8 in the first series, then 4.2. It was 265 horsepower. It was fast, it was expensive. And Lyons was afraid that this car would make the E-Type look bad and look old for less money. There's not so much as a problem with the weight, because the aluminium V8 is light and the metal 4-cylinder was heavy. So there's no problem with the weight, but there's a problem with the power and with the suspension and with the braking power. So You put a 3.5 liter V8 in the front. You need to work on the cooling, which was done. You need to work on the brakes. You need to work on the suspension. You need to put bigger wheels to accommodate the bigger brakes, and the bigger wheels also give stability. Then you need a gearbox. Originally, the V8 came with a 4 gears box that was used in P6, SD1, Range Rover, TVR, and a lot of other brands, mostly kit cars. So the parts were all there, you just had to build them in. So on this car, this was done, and they kept it right-hand drive. So in the paperwork, this is a 3.5 liter MGB, right-hand drive. You could continue the conversion and say, I'll put the steering on the left. And then you have what we have here, an MGB V8 left-hand drive. This is not original, because originally the steering wheel was on the right. This is as original as a V8 can be. This is what the factory made. And the only conversion they did here was from right to left. And what's a lot of fun is that they included an open roof. And not any open roof, this is a Webasto, because the MGB GT, the coupe, had a problem with overheating. So even the 4-cylinder car, if you would drive it in the summer, the tunnel would be so hot that it's not nice. No signs of air conditioning anywhere. This is the 60s, the 70s. So here you have the bigger engine with a 5 gearbox, which was fun because the engine has so much torque that you can drive it as a modern car with low revs, fast on the highway, without the noise and the consumption of an old car. So this is as good as they come. This has been restored, leather interior, wooden steering wheel, a little bit of a conversion on the dashboard. And as you can see, they fit perfectly. This is a shooting brake. You have all kinds of shooting brakes. But this is a car that you can use almost on a daily basis. You can go shooting, you can do the grocery shopping, or you can just enjoy it as a summer and winter car. You have an open roof that you can use closed. You have, when it's closed, a real coupe that you can use in the winter when it's nicely warm inside. And in the summer, you open the roof and the heat evacuates and you can just enjoy your car. So this is the best of all worlds. On top of this fantastic engine that is completely original, and you can see the difference between this one and the Cabriolet one, where the build is completely different. This is really factory built. On top of the fantastic engine, this car is filled with options. Dashboard with all kinds of extra meters which give you the measurements of what you want to know. There is a tacho in kilometers, not in miles. Obviously, this was only miles because it was only made for the home market of the UK. So if you want one of those, come and find us. We are in Aalter. We are open 6 days a week. We have a lot of events, so you're more than welcome to come and visit. You can see the cars on the lift. We can test drive them on our private road. We can do all kinds of inspections on it. You're most welcome to call, video, mail, whatever's best for you. Thank you for your attention.